Okay. Let me just quickly introduce Kendra Vaculent from Medium. Kendra, I didn't get your bio or anything, so you can talk a little bit about your background and what you've done at Medium and what you've done before.
Sure.
But just to give everybody a quick reintroduction to what Medium is, and Kendra, stop me if I have this wrong or correct me later. Better yet, Medium is a social content sharing platform. Basically, it's a way for you to get more views for your content, no matter what that is. If you've tooled around the site, you see at this point it's largely nonfiction. My understanding is that they want more fiction. We've started experimenting with having a Liberty Island publication on there, which is a publication, what they call a dedicated section. And so what we're going to learn to do today, hopefully, is how to make Medium work for your personal stuff, for your Liberty Island stuff, and anything that falls in between, and how to, we can work together to grow our network and increase the size of our audiences. Kendra,
Absolutely.
Over to you.
Yes, definitely. Hi, guys. My name is Kendra, and I work in sort of the high-profile outreach sector of Medium. We're doing a lot of network growth initiatives, and I've worked with authors and publishers, publishing houses, and agents, in addition to my work with businesses and corporations, nonprofits. I'm sort of helping everybody get set up onto the platform and utilizing best practices and helping you get the most reach. Yeah, as I've noted, you guys have a really awesome publication already set up on Medium, which is indeed sort of like what a publication or a magazine homepage would look like if it was entirely on the web. And right now, there's all these awesome pieces that are published in the publication from David's account with a written-in byline, which functions well and does get the point across, but part of sort of tapping into the Medium network, which is super enormous and growing every day. We have about 25 million monthly uniques, is to sort of tap your own social network and the network of Medium, the platform at large. So the best way to make that happen is to publish into a publication. So this Liberty Island publication is a perfect one from your own personal account. That kind of ends up hitting all of the markers at once because when you sign up for Medium, it pulls your social graph. We can walk through signing up for Medium in a minute, but the way that you do that is using your Facebook or Twitter login information. If you don't want to use your Facebook or Twitter login, you can also sign up using email. Obviously, we would never post anything to your Facebook or your Twitter, and the benefit of signing up socially is that it pulls that social graph. So anybody who's following you on Twitter who has a Medium account will automatically be following you on Medium when you sign up, which is hugely beneficial because it means that those are the people who are seeing your posts on their homepage automatically. You sort of have this built-in audience right off the bat, which is great. And obviously things grow and grow as you post, more people follow you, that kind of thing. But to have that audience right off the bat is great. Publishing into a publication means all of the publication's followers will see your things, all of your personal followers will see your things, and it sort of just ripples out from there. Another cool Medium sort of network functionality is called what we call recommending a story. It's like saving or liking something on Facebook, but what it actually functions, if you're using a Twitter analogy, like a retweet. What it does is push then your story out to all of the person who recommended it, followers as well. So again, just trickling out all over the platform and helping you sort of get eyeballs on your pieces, which I think are really great and I think would find a great home here at Medium. We are definitely looking for more fiction content. We have a lot of stuff from writers and from authors, a lot of text stuff too, but I'm more interested in sort of the literary aspect and having that on Medium. So I think it's a great place for this kind of content. So I think the place to start would be walking through, and you guys can follow along on your computers. You can do it or you can just watch and do it later, sort of what it would be to sign up. So I think I sent out, and you may have gotten the how to sign up for Medium the sort of user guide that we have. And if not, let me pull it up so that I can help you guys out. If you go just to medium.com, and in the search bar, which is in the top right, you can type easy sign up Medium. This is kind of a hacky way to get there. Sorry, I didn't provide you guys all with that link. Let's see. And the post that we're looking for has that big blue banner. It's about 4 down in the scroll, how to sign up for Medium in 6 easy steps. So that's a really easy, obviously, sort of crash course into signing up. And you can bookmark this for later. But a really simple way to sign up is just if you're going to use your Twitter, which I recommend just because it helps you follow your social graph in the best way. Sort of the most dense network is on Twitter rather than Facebook. So the easiest way to do it is just to open your Twitter page in one tab of your browser and in another tab of the same browser.
Can I interrupt and ask one quick question? For people who don't have a real, as nearly as big a Twitter presence as their Facebook presence, does it still make sense to use Twitter?
No, I mean, if you feel more comfortable or if you think that your network will be denser using Facebook, certainly go that route. I think for a lot of people, sort of professional contacts come through Twitter and maybe more personal through Facebook. So if you wanted a network of your friends off the bat or with people who are accustomed to reading your work or, that kind of thing. It's however you feel most comfortable, however you want. And you can also, and you'll notice that this is part of that sign-up sheet as well, link both. You just have to sign up with one the first time, but then after that you can pull your Facebook if you signed up with Twitter or vice versa, and link both up, which is obviously the densest way to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've done. If you guys will be on anytime, look at my personal profile, you'll see that I'm connected personally through Facebook, and then I also have the Liberty Island Twitter account attached to it.
Yeah, very great. And that's awesome. That it pulls followers for you. It pulls people that you're following. So it gives you like a whole big sort of network right off the bat, which is great. Then after you're signed up, what you can do is let David know of your Medium username, and he can add you as a writer to the publication. So the way that our publications work on the platform is that they're closed for submissions unless you're added as a writer by the editor of the publication. And David, as the creator of the Liberty Island publication, is the editor. And so he can add you as writers. And then that means that every time you post to Medium, you will have the option to submit that post to the publication. And David, as the editor, can accept that submission. And then that's where your post will live.
Hi there. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, this is Fred Tribuzzo. I finally made it.
Okay, thank you, Fred.
Okay.
Great. We're glad to have you. But so what I can do is I can send that link for anyone who had trouble accessing it, the sign-up how-tos. I can pass that on to David, and he can send it along to you guys. And then, again, you guys can send along your login names to David, who can add you as a writer. A post can live only in one publication at a time, so you may find that people will request your stories. Really great work gets requested by editors all the time. So if there's a publication, anybody can start a publication. Medium is an open platform. So if someone has written, a publication about war stories or a publication, whatever it is, and they see your great post and they would like it to be in the publication, obviously you own that content, but you would have to remove it from the Liberty Island publication to add it to someone else's. But the post would live in the publication and also on your personal profile page. Are there any other things that you're curious about, David, that you can think of off the bat?
Let's see. Well, talk about some of the reasons that people might set up their own publication, and then what kind of success people are having with that.
Certainly. So it sort of depends on your functionality for using a profile or using a publication. So setting up your own profile certainly is a great thing. That means that you are the author of your pieces. it's linking back to your bio. So, for example, David's publishing of some other people's work means that they have their name written in on the piece, but if they click where, the Medium issued byline is, it says David's name, and when they click back to that profile, it has, David's Facebook is linked up and that kind of thing. So it's really great for you to build up your own sort of audience base, to have your own personal profile. You can write in your bio on your profile page, and where Medium populates the byline on your pieces, it will link to you. But setting up a publication, as David has done for Liberty Island, is that the benefit is that it sort of groups like work together. So since you all work in the same organization, having everything in one place it makes a really good landing page for you guys to send to people who want to see all of your stuff at once, or people who are looking for that kind of network. It also means that people can respond. You guys can respond to each other. We have a response function at the bottom of each post where you can write in response to that. You can highlight posts. You can leave notes for people. You can text shot, which is sort of a way to tweet a longer than 140-character snippet of your Medium post that includes a link that will send you back to Medium. There's a lot of cool functionality that I think is really, really beneficial. And for writers especially, I passed along a post, I think, to David that he sent along to you guys too, called 7 Ways for Authors to Engage on Medium, which is really great. I think we have a really dense network of authors and publishing houses that are using the platform. And literary agents come to us all the time talking about their writers and trying to get them up on the platform, because the success has been really great. People publish excerpts from forthcoming novels and older pieces with links to buy at the bottom. I can send you guys information about how to create a really robust footer for your pieces, which can include all of the information that you want about your book and places to buy it and places to find more information about you. We have a lot of cool original pieces that are tied to releases to books. A lot of awesome authors will write op-eds. It's spurred a lot of discovery and a lot of cool sharing, and a really sort of robust community, which has been really, really neat to see grow. It's also a really good place for testing things, for getting feedback, because the Medium network is so broad. People are, posting ideas and sort of like brainstorming, doing it live on the platform, which is really great. Outtakes from your book are really cool to see. To build an audience between books is really nice, just to continue publishing, because Medium is an open platform, as I said. If you don't want to publish stuff directly into the Liberty Island publication, you can publish anything just all on your own. That's not in the Liberty Island page. And it's an open platform, so you can publish anything you want, any kind of writing that you're interested in publishing. You can design it however you like. It's just a really great place for you to sort of engage with your audience and craft your voice and sort of have a place that's really yours without having to worry about any of the back end. It's designed really lovely automatically. The tools are super easy to use. The editor is flawless. It's so intuitive. As a writer myself, I love that it's a place that I can just worry about the text. I can just worry about the writing, and everything else, all the lovely parts of the web that are hard for me to sort of manage. I don't really understand code. I don't know how to do HTML, but all of that sort of is done for me on the platform. So inserting images and making things look cool is very simple, and it's really the words that sing, which I think is the main benefit of using Medium.
One thing about posting, and I opened up the start a new story page. Everybody should sort of do that to follow along. Can you talk a little bit about the hashtagging, because seems like it's a critical discovery tool, right?
Tagging is what you mean?
Tagging, not hashtagging. Yeah, sorry.
At the bottom where it says add up to 3 optional tags. Yes, definitely. That's a really vital sort of place for discovery. In addition to, I'll talk now about discovery. So your bio and the tags.
This is great. Sorry. Hey, Dave. I'm looking at the Medium homepage for me, I guess, and what I see is write a story. Is that the page I need to be on to see what you guys are talking about?
Go ahead and click Write a Story. And then if you just literally type in like a string of letters, you just have to have something in there for this to show up. Then you'll see in light gray right beneath it, add up to 3 optional tags. And that's where you're going to add the tags to your piece. Absolutely. And tagging your piece increases discoverability. So when people search a theme or a topic, this is what's going to help populate that, and that's what's going to get your story to the top. So we usually suggest one thing that's super broad, like tech or design or innovation or something super broad, and then 2 that are a little more specific to your piece. But you'll see as you start to type things that it will show you how many stories on Medium have also been tagged that way. So obviously popular tags are good to use, but sometimes it's weird to have, if you want to just do your own tag that has never been used before, that's also a fun way to sort of cultivate your own space. Then you can say, like, for example, a Medium staff writer named Alana just started a cool series called I Call This Look, where she writes fictional characters based on how she dresses herself. So she'll take a picture in an outfit and then write a fictional character based on the outfit. And so she created the tag called I Call This Look. And all of the people who have written to her have tagged their pieces I Call This Look, which obviously before she started this initiative, nothing was tagged that. There would be no reason really to tag your post that, except for if they wanted to take part in this sort of push. So that's a cool way to also sort of galvanize a group of people around a similar topic. So these are different ways that you can use tags. The most standard, of course, is just 3 sort of keywords or buzzwords that describe your piece well. Another way would be if you wanted to tag all of your stories one very specific thing, and then you could tell people to search that tag, then all of your stories would come together at once. Something that you knew that nobody else would be searching as well. It does function like a hashtag in this way, but I think it's just a good use for discoverability. The other way to increase that is to edit your bio on your homepage. So once you create a profile, your homepage is just your picture, your avatar, your name, and then a little bit of your bio. And so if you sign up with Twitter, it'll pull your Twitter bio directly over. But that bio is searchable. So when you have your Medium profile, if you'd like to edit that bio that they pulled from Twitter, I would suggest adding things like the topics that love to write about, and then the topics that you like writing about, or things that you're interested or things that you're passionate about, because then when people search, sustainability, if you say writes about sustainability, then your profile will show up on that search. It's like tagging yourself in addition to tagging your individual stories. It's a way for people to find you as a writer.
See, that's a great tip right there, and I urge everybody, if you haven't set up your profile, or if you have, to edit it, go in there and add fiction.
Definitely.
Add, what genres that you write in. I noticed there's a science fiction tag with some hundreds of uses already.
Yeah, definitely.
And go from there. And it also, if you want to be discovered by conservatives and libertarians, there's tags for that as well. And so since you're limited to only 3 for your story, absolutely the profile is the way to put in the rest.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a way to just sort of mark you as a writer based on the types of things that you write about, so that people will be finding you.
Okay, that's great. Kendra, can you walk through a little bit about, the steps? I know you sent around the article, but it'd be good for people to hear it too, because not everybody learns best through reading, of how the social sharing works and how you can be most effective at sharing.
Certainly. So in addition to sort of the base following that you will have on Medium once you sign up using Facebook or Twitter, we do suggest that you promote the story just the same way that you would promote any story. You can tweet it, you can send it out on Facebook, you can, however you would promote a piece that you've written elsewhere on the internet, we suggest that you do that as well. But on Medium itself, sort of the network operates, as I said, sort of rippling out from the center. So you can follow people, and then, you get a notification that they've followed you or what have you. So that kind of can have sort of the effect of finding and discovering more people. If you recommend a story, that person may be likely to come read your stories and recommend, and then your piece will be pushed out to all of their followers, again, because recommend function like a retweet. The response function is a really good way to sort of build the network. If you respond to a piece, or if you leave a note at the bottom of your piece to say, please respond if you have thoughts, sort of a call for responses that way is really great. People can put polls into their pieces because we have this highlight feature where if you highlight a piece of text and then press the highlight icon, it will note that you selected that bit of text. People do it for quotes that they find really interesting or empowering. And then you can go search through your highlights later, but people will say, vote between these 2 sentences or vote between these 4 options, and then your highlight is your vote. And then there's a little bubble to the side that says how many people have highlighted. So there's a lot of ways for you to sort of interact socially on the platform itself. And I would encourage you just, search tags, search topics that you're interested in, find similar writers to you, read their stuff, respond to it, recommend it or highlight it if you find that's interesting to you, because then that will bring, they will come read your stuff too, and it sort of just builds from there.
That's very helpful. Let's take that to the next level now. Do you have publications or individual authors that you can point to who are really successful on Medium, so we can check out their profiles together?
Totally. So there's a lot of I'm going to think about some examples now. There's tons and tons of people on Medium who are using it a lot of different ways. I think one good example, and I sent this to you, is a publication called Q Point. You did send that. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's a music publication run by Jonathan Schechter. So he gets, he used to work in the music industry, so he has access to a bunch of cool artists, people who work in the industry, and in addition to that, and so he'll, approach them and ask if they want to write something on Medium, and then he'll bring them into his publication. And in addition to that, he will, and this is how a lot of the publications work on Medium, go through Medium and search the music tags and find good user-generated content that just appears, someone wrote something about music, about an artist or something on their own, and he thinks it's really awesome and really well written. He will ask that person add their story to his publication. So that's another cool way to, if you wanted to start your own publication, sort of be on the lookout on the platform for other authors who think like you or write like you or who write completely opposite from you. If you want to sort of be sparring on the platform, that's fun too, and we found a lot of politicians doing that. But creating a publication where you can bring all of those voices together, because certainly together is more effective than apart. All of these voices are awesome individually, but having them all in this one jump page of Q Point is a great space, certainly. Some really effective users, I would say, we have a ton, but a great author example is Kevin Ashton. So he started a publication called How to Fly a Horse, which is the title of his book, and he would publish a bunch of cool excerpts from his book. And they've done really well. It's been really cool to see how that's grown and to see which ones get super popular, and sort of the responses that he gets and the interaction that he gets with other writers. And then at the bottom of every post in that publication, he has a little footer that talks about, publishing information and where you can buy the book and information about the book. So it's just a cool way to sort of get a glimpse at the book without reading the whole thing, and then you can, take that to a larger scope if you
I see that he's generated 5,000 followers.
Yeah, absolutely, just for his publication. Yeah, it's super neat. The other thing I forgot to talk about is statistics. So you can track your own stats as a writer. So that's another benefit of having you publish personally from your profile rather than someone publishing on your behalf and writing in your byline, is that you can track the stats for your story. So our stats page is pretty robust and has a lot of cool information on it. You can track both page views and reads. Our reads means that, it's engagement, so it's scrolling slowly through the story rather than just clicking on the page. We think that reads
tell people quickly how they get to that page, Kendra.
Certainly. So if you are signed on to Medium and you click your avatar, your little picture in the top right, and then that sidebar opens up, you can click Stats, and that'll open your Stats page. If you don't have a Medium account yet, there will be nothing there. But once you sign on, you'll be able to access statistics. So then you'll be able to see each of your stories, the views, the reads, the read ratio, the number of recommends that you've received, and this is my favorite part. You can also see refers. So underneath the story, if you don't have anything there, you won't, or if you haven't published on Medium yet, you won't be able to see this, but it'll list, the stats page will list out all your stories plus their statistics. And under each story will be a button that says refer. And you can see all of the sources that brought readers to your post. If they came from Twitter, if they came from Facebook, if they searched your name on Google, if they searched your name on Medium, all of the different kind of routes that people have taken to your post on Medium. And what's cool with Twitter, since we were founded by the same people who founded Twitter, so we have some cool ins there, means that you can click the refers and then you can click twitter.com, meaning that they came to your post through Twitter, and you can see all of the tweets that have ever been tweeted that included a link to your post. So, oftentimes people will mention you on Twitter if they are posting a link to your piece, but sometimes people don't. Sometimes people just say, this is a great post, and then put a URL in their tweet. And this way you get to see every single time that someone has put your URL in a tweet and sent people to Medium, which is really awesome. And then, then you can go talk to that person, you can go tweet at them, or you can send them a direct message, or you can follow them and sort of build engagement that way and continue the story that way.
So, Kendra, can you just explain a little better how you get to that part of the stats? I'm having a little trouble finding it.
Yeah, certainly. So if you go to your statistics page, and then you click underneath a story where it says it'll say view story, and then it'll say refer. You see
refers.
underneath?
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Now I see it.
So then it'll show you all the places that it came from. If you click on Twitter, it will show you all of the tweets that have mentioned your story and sent people then directly to your Medium post.
Got it.
Yeah,
Very
it's a pretty cool tool. And it also, that's engagement that otherwise would have been lost. That's someone who read your story, thought it was awesome enough to tweet it, didn't, maybe felt embarrassed or didn't want to bother you or something, and so didn't mention you in their tweet, just said, this is great, put the URL in it, and tweeted it out to their followers. That's a lost interaction with you if you never know about it. But this way, if you find it on your stats page, you can go to that person, you can follow them on Twitter, you can send them a message, and you can say, I'm so glad that you liked it. Would you recommend it on Medium, please? Or would you write a response? Or I'd really there's a ton of different avenues for communication that can sort of generate from that interaction, which is really cool that you can access it from your own stats page.
No, that's great. One last question, then we'll open it up for questions.
Absolutely.
Are people using Medium to replace their personal blogs, or are they using it to augment, or is it a combination of the two?
It's a combination of the two. A lot of people are sort of abandoning their personal blogs and personal websites and coming over to Medium instead, which has been really, really cool to see. A lot of we have some great examples of corporate blogs that have done that, student publications that have done that, and personal designers, personal whatever have just brought their musings and their thoughts over to Medium, which is great. A really awesome use for that. But we also have a really neat import tool, which means that you can just import a post that you've already written elsewhere on the internet, and Medium will sort of pull all the text and images over for you right away. And people have been doing that as well to sort of supplement their personal blogs or their internet writings elsewhere. So if people want to post on their personal blog and then import that post to Medium, it creates a nice little footer at the bottom that says posted originally on, and then the original the original website and the date that it was originally posted, so that you can sort of have that as an additional space. Because we found, and the reason why people are doing that is that Medium as a networked platform just has a longer tail and a longer life and more views than in the silo of your own personal blog, which no one will accidentally find. But the thing about Medium is that, there's read next at the bottom. You can see who people follow. You can see what people have read and recommended, which means that you're constantly finding new and different things. And all of the different kinds of people on Medium means that sometimes your read next is Obama, and sometimes the read next is a cool piece of nonfiction from a psychologist, and sometimes the read next, there's all these crazy different things that you can find on Medium just organically, which people don't sort of fall into your own personal blog unless they're really searching for it. So I think that's why people tend to even repost the same post that they wrote on their blog on Medium again, just to be able to benefit from those network effects.
Okay, very good. Let's open it up for questions. So remember to unmute your phone so we can hear you. Anyone?
Hey, Kendra, it's Griff. David, thanks for bringing out a question. That was one of the things I was wondering about is, could Medium, in fact, become a replacement for a personal web page or a personal blog? Kendra, how difficult is it to put basically kind of some archives on Medium? Does it just become a bunch of stories you publish, essentially, and then they're just there to be found?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're publishing older pieces that have already been published on the internet, maybe on your personal blog, you can import all of those pieces. You can create a publication for all of those pieces or a collection for all of those pieces. But yeah, they'll certainly be living sort of on this sort of active platform rather than back in the archives on your blog. So they'll be found, and they'll be, you can publish them or push them out on social media again, and sort of give them a whole new life.
Cool, thank you.
Absolutely.
This is Bob. I'm still not tumbling to exactly where you put what you write.
So if you are on the Medium page in the top right corner, you'll see a button called Write a Story. Do you see that button?
I don't see that.
Okay. Do you have a Medium account?
Yes, I just got one.
Okay. So,
I got my picture up there in the upper right hand corner.
Great. Okay. So if you click your picture, then you can click New Story underneath it. Do you see New Story?
I do not see that.
What kind of browser are you using? Are you using Chrome?
I'm using IE.
Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the problem, is that we can't create new stories using Internet Explorer. In fact, I know that seems really crazy. We have so few people who use Internet Explorer that it's not built to create new stories. You can read stories on Internet Explorer, but not create new ones. So you'll have to use Safari or Chrome or Firefox or some other type of browser in order to create a new story.
I have that problem a lot. The reason I have IE is that there's some subscriptions I can't get with anything but IE.
Certainly,
it's frustrating.
Definitely, but there'll be a way. I use Safari for some things and Chrome for some things. So you can definitely have two, kind of browsers available to you if you'd like, and then Medium can be something that you use on a non-IE browser.
Okay. That explains.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Fred.
It seems like a powerful platform, but I'm thinking a lot of us are just going to have to spend some time noodling around on here. And I don't know, Dave. Maybe we can even get a little side project of some kind. So maybe we can email each other back and forth with what I found, what works, sort of idea, just to maybe try to speed up everybody's learning curve.
I think that's a good idea. Actually, the best place to do that would be in the Creators Forum on Facebook. So if folks aren't members of that yet, go ahead and look it up on Facebook, Liberty Island Creators Forum. And then once you find it, you have to request to be added, and I'll add you. But that's actually the perfect place to have these kinds of discussions. It's a completely private group on Facebook, and that way we can get the stuff really dynamic, and it won't get as confusing as email.
Great, Dave. I like that idea. And by the way, if you go to the Creators Forum, you can also read Shrewsbury.
I told you no self-promotion.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry.
So before we wrap up, unless there's any other questions, Kendra, let me just. Sorry. Go ahead. Somebody had a question.
Yeah, actually, this is Andrew Fox. Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, I was just curious if Medium has any restrictions on where images are sourced from. Because, like on my personal blog, to illustrate a lot of my articles, I'll pull an image from Google search or something like that.
Of course.
And I don't know. I mean, are there any restrictions on images that may, say, have originated 30 years ago in Time magazine or something like that?
Oh, certainly. So when you add an image, and I sent David a link for formatting tips and tricks, so you can be able to follow along for that, for formatting in all arenas, which is really helpful. But for adding an image, when you do that, all of the options for image formatting afford you just a little line for your caption. It's built right automatically, and there's an automatic little line that says, add caption here, or type your caption. And if you'd like to type the source of the image, then that's totally fine. But you own the content, so however you want to add images to it is great. We recommend you can use Flickr. Creative Commons is a really fun tool that for like decorative images or that kind of thing. That's the tool that I really like to use. Creative Commons means free and open licensing, so I love the Flickr stuff that's available to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. If there's no other questions, let me just finish with a wrap-up question. Kendra, what are 3 things that people should go do right now to improve their Medium reach?
Absolutely. Well, if they don't have a Medium account, the first thing to do would be to create one. The second thing would be to send their Medium username to you, so that in just an email, let them know what your Medium username is. If you're confused about what your Medium username is, you can just click your avatar in the top right corner and then click Profile. And then when you click on your profile, the URL box will say medium.com/ and then your Medium username. That's what it is. If you can send that to David, then he can add you as a writer to the publication. That means to the Liberty Island publication. That means that anything that you publish, you will have the option to submit to the publication. And then the third thing to do would be to go follow some people. Look around, search some tags, and follow at least 3 or 4 writers that you think are interesting or cool. You can go into the Medium top stories on the homepage and see what the most popular stories of the day are, and follow those writers if you want. Sort of building up what's going to appear in your homepage, and also getting your name out there, because they're going to get a notification that you followed them, and maybe they'll follow you back and that kind of thing. Just to be able to get a good look at what's out there on Medium right now and start reading some posts. That's
great. Well, if there's one more chance for any more questions.
Yeah.
You guys go right ahead.
Yeah, could you please just go through that second point on creating the profile to send David?
Yes, absolutely.
To make that connection.
Have you created your Medium account?
Yes, I did. I set that up through my email.
Great. So then if you go if you're on medium.com and you click your picture in the top right corner, then you click Profile.
Okay.
Then look in the URL box. It should say medium.com/ and @ and then that thing that follows it is your Medium username.
Okay.
So that's the username that you need to send David.
All right. I haven't gotten to the point of setting up my picture yet, but after the phone call, I'll get that done.
Okay. But do you see where the username would be?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you see where your username would be?
No, I don't.
Okay, so where are you on Medium, the homepage right now?
Yeah, I was let's see, I can go to the homepage. And it just has search medium and write a story off to the right.
Great. And then does it have a little circle?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you click the little circle, then do you see the little drop down? It says new story, import story.
Yeah, I don't see that. There's write a story.
Right.
And,
okay, so next to it, the circle, you'll have to click the circle first.
Okay, I see that. New story, import a story. Okay.
Great. Then if you go all the way down, it says profile, third from the bottom. It says profile. Click that.
Okay. Very good.
Great. Now the URL box should say at the top, medium.com/ an @ symbol, and then that thing that follows it is your Medium username.
Oh, at the very end. Okay.
So that's the username that you need to send David. And then he can add you to be a writer for the publication.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
The other thing I would ask everybody to do right away is follow the Liberty Island publication page.
That's a great thing, yes.
Because right now we have 2 followers, and I suspect that's me and Abby. So let's get some more.
Okay.
Will do.
To do that. Okay.
Actually it's not even Abby. Even Abby doesn't follow it yet. All right, Kendra, thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
This has been incredibly helpful. And I think we're actually really going to make a run at this and see how this can help out everybody. And I think, not just as individuals, but also as a collective. And I also urge everyone to, work together in small groups to maybe set up a special interest publication. Like if some of you are interested in science fiction, you could do your own mini science fiction magazine. And build up readers that way. There's a lot of different ways to think about doing this, but the idea is the bigger the pie, the bigger the audience for all of us. So it's all about each of us individually growing our pie, if that makes sense. So,
and you guys feel free to email me if you have any questions. My email address is just kendra@medium.com. Super easy. If you guys have questions, I'm here for you.
Okay, very good.
Pretty easy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, everyone have a great rest of the day. Happy 4th of July, belatedly. And we'll reconvene for one of these again, probably not in August, but probably September.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for your time. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.